Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, man. And in today's video, and cap space due to their offseason moves, for example, cutting Lyle Collins, like how I covered a video earlier in the offseason, how the Cowboys were going to end up. One of the main factors that's the reason why they let go of Lyle Collins is because it was going to get $10 million after the post June 1st. And today I'm making the YouTube video on June 2nd, so I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on what they're going to do with that money potentially. And also I'm going to be talking about some of the good news that we've been getting out of OTA, man. Yeah, man. So before we hop into the video, can we make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you guys won't miss any more of my Cowboy videos or any videos that I post, man. So yeah, man, let's just hop into it. As this screenshot you guys are looking at right now, the Dallas Cowboys got $22.4 million in cap space. And like I said, we originally had like 13 or 14, something around there from, before we made the post June 1st cut with Lyle Collins. Now, since it's post June 1st, we got an extra $10 million added onto our 13 or 12 that we had previously. So, honestly, I think what the Cowboys will probably do with this $22 million that they end up having, which is what they do normally, this is what they're either going to do. They're either going to sign bargain basement free agents, like maybe they'll sign a Anthony Barr, who they had interest with back in the draft process like 7-8 years ago. Maybe they go out there, they go get them a veteran receiver, maybe like a T.Y. Hilton, a Sammy Watkins. Maybe I wouldn't mind getting Julio Jones. Obviously, I know Julio Jones is one of my favorite receivers, but I obviously know he's not the Atlanta Julio that we all loved and remembered and everything like that. So we signed him to a year deal, vet min probably, and we'll probably see what we can work out with that, or what the Cowboys will probably do with the money, which I'm thinking that they could possibly do if they want to be smart. But in past history, they have not done it since Zeke. And what they're going to do with the money is, I think they should use the $22 million in cap space and probably try to work it into a deal to sign one of your four pillars of your franchise. Now, the four pillars I'm talking about of the franchise are Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, and Michael Parsons. Obviously, you can't pay Michael Parsons just yet. You already paid Dak Prescott, so it leaves that down to CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs. So the draft class that's next in line to get paid is the Joe Burrow draft class. Jerry Jeudy, Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, Andrew Thomas, Isaiah Simmons, Justin Jefferson. That draft class is ready to get their next step in line to get paid. I'm lying. Actually, 2019 is, but soon enough, Trayvon Diggs will want his money. Do I think the Cowboys potentially even sign Trayvon Diggs to a big contract yet? I don't think so. I would, because I'm not in favor of letting go another all-pro corner like how we did with Byron Jones a couple of years ago. I'm not in favor of doing that at all. I don't want to let go of the four pillars I was talking about but the Cowboys are a real funny style, and they don't like to pay everybody. They're the only franchise in the NFL who can't keep 4 Pro Bowlers on their team, but everybody else can for some reason. Dalton Schultz. I know right now Dalton Schultz was licking his chops, honestly, for the market's sake, for the fact that David Njoku just got extended the other day to the Cleveland Browns, and David Njoku he's been really underutilized since he's been there, but that's not really his fault due to bad quarterback play. But obviously there's been other great tight ends in the league that still excel with bad quarterback play. But yeah, basically, man, we're going to see what the Cowboys are going to do with this $23 million, man. I hope they use it. I see them using it this year? I don't necessarily see them using it this year that crazy, because like I said, the Cowboys Stephen Jones especially is always talking about this damn pie, about how, we have this pie, and, all this other stuff like, we can only pay so much people of the pie, and all this other dumb crap some business term they use. But, Yeah, man. Hopefully, they use the money to sign somebody early because we know that the Cowboys are really bad negotiators. They always say they always have that one term like deadlines, make deals, and everything like that, and they always bank on our players taking pay cuts and things like that, or taking less money in the contract for them to come and play for us, and then everyone uses that excuse, especially the fans that back up the front office, and or the regular people who love backing up billionaires. They will say that, oh, it's fine if an ex player takes less money because he's gonna make more money because he plays for the Cowboys. He'll make that back in endorsements. It's not the same, and that's not all. You know what I'm saying? So, it'll make sense for the Cowboys to try to get ahead of a deal, more like a Trevon Diggs or a CeeDee Lamb. For me, that would make sense. Obviously, they haven't done it ever before in the past. They've only done it with Zeke because Zeke was like, I'm a running back. I know I'm not going to last long, so give me my money now. So that was only the case in point. And then with Dak Prescott, they waited too long, and then now they're crying that they have to pay him 40 some odd million. But if you would have paid him after that LA Ram game and that little stretch where he went 1-on-1 in the playoffs, you gave him his $33 million, 5-year deal. Contract don't look as bad compared to the other ones right now. So, yeah, man, that's so far what I'll talk about with the cap situation and what the Cowboys could potentially do with the 22+ million they have in cap space. So right now, let's hop into it, talking about the OTAs, man. So a lot of these information I'm getting from the people who cover the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to mispronounce her last name, Brie A. She's one of the reporters that works with, I forgot the dude's name. What's his name? Jeff Fisher, I think is his name. But yeah, so you normally see her with him. They're normally working together. But her tweet was no Deebo Samuel, no problem. And then they're saying from her point of view, when she was in there at the Dallas Cowboys OTAs, they were talking about how basically we're going to use Tony Pollard like a Deebo Samuel, two different players. I'm not going to try to act like they're the same sort of player, but that they always tease us all the time, and the off season they always want to do out of the blue ordinary stuff that they'll do in practice or they'll do against in preseason, or they might do it in a blowout win over a division rival where all of a sudden you want to utilize your players, you want to motion sweep, you want to move them around on the offense. Like I said, you want to do a bunch of motions, you want to put X player in the slot, or we're down in the game and you're desperate, all of a sudden you want to open up 5 wide and put Tony Pollard in the slot, or you want to utilize Zeke in the passing game. So basically what I'm saying, well, that soliloquy was that although they're showing you right now that they're using Tony Pollard in the slot, does not mean they're going to do it in the regular season. They're just doing it now to hush up a lot of Cowboy fans who's like, oh my God, use Tony Pollard this way. Don't use him. Don't try to treat him like Zeke and give him 25, 30 carries. But if you want to give him 25, 30 anything, those should be touches, combination between carries and catches. But, basically I'm basically taking all these tweets with a grain of salt. Kyle Humans, man, one of the key people out there that nationally covers the Cowboys. Not for ESPN or anything like that, but he does cover the Dallas Cowboys. You'll see him out there, like I said, the fourth area. You're out there, you listen on your radios or whatever, things like that. I believe they have a YouTube channel, everything like that. Covers the Cowboys really well, but they're saying Micah looks like a monster, sounds like a vet. Everyone was saying that in the offseason when, they asked him, like, hey, Michael, what are you going to do in the offseason? And he was like, I'm just going to remember how we lost in the first round. So we already know Michael's a very mature NFL player and everything like that. So that's not much surprise there. We know that Michael Parsons is the face of the Dallas Cowboys. So there's not much that needs to be said from Michael Parsons' standpoint when covering or talking about him. So, yeah. So then they're saying that they saw a first glimpse of Tyler Smith at offensive tackle. I think right here, this is just showing off his position flex, seeing what he needs to clean up on offensive tackle. Because in the next two, after they're saying Tyler Smith play offensive tackle, they said, but Tyron was a full participant too. As Cowboy fans, we got to be realistic with ourselves. Just for a key second that, hey, we know that even though that Tyron Smith is still a great player, he's going to miss 5 to 6 games. Like, he's going to miss a handful of NFL games. And every season has been happening. The last time he's played all 16 games was back in his rookie year, 2011. So, if you guys are unrealistically saying that he can play 17 games, that's unrealistic. He hasn't done it. So, he's only done it in 1 year. So, you're trying out what Tyler can be better at, because most likely if a Tyron Smith does go down, you're looking at Tyler Smith probably playing your left tackle, or you're possibly going to see Tyler Smith left tackle, and you're possibly going to see Connor McGovern at left guard, or maybe, which I'm kind of surprised I didn't see, was that they're saying anything about Matt Waletzko, but I can't lie, they have been saying that Matt Waletzko has been looking pretty good in camp. So, even though Kyle Umans didn't report it in his tweet, doesn't mean he's still not doing good and everything like that. But yeah, so that's part of the clip. One of the notes that Kyle Umans noted. I like Tyler Smith, and there was another tweet that I don't have right now, but they were saying how Tyler Smith, they really like what he's been doing in camp. He's been impressing a bunch of vets with how powerful he is at the guard position. And they're saying how great he is transitioning into it. Like I already said again, all that the tangibles that he brings already. He brings power. He's already an athletic guard or offensive lineman anyway. That was part of the reason why the Dallas Cowboys took him that high as they did. So, that was the news from our Tyler Smith, from our rookie. And it's always key that when we're talking about OTAs or the Dallas Cowboys offseason, if a lot of people are not talking about a high noted or a high drafted player like how we normally do, like if you don't hear a bunch of good news from your guys from about how a rookie and vets are saying it, and the media that covers Cowboys are saying it, then that means the rookie's he's gonna be something, or he's been showing out. So yeah, man. So that's really great strides to see from Tyler Smith. And then they're saying Kyle Umans, of course, he on the next line, he said that great reps for some of the young offensive line and wide receiver. I'm assuming he means Tyler Smith, Simi Fehoko, and then Jones and Freifogel. But he said more good days from LVE and Chauncey Golston. And they're saying that another thing I need to cover over was that Neville Gallimore also gained 16 pounds of muscle. And they're saying that they still has his speed and everything like that, and all his athleticism and stuff like that. So they're saying that he added on more muscle. He's more athletic now, and Chauncey Golston's like our utility guy, somebody we put in. He's a 4-down defensive lineman where we can have out there, get to the quarterback, great in the run game, everything like that. LVE is more than likely going to ball and have a time of his life, or he's going to have to, because he's on a year deal, and most likely he's going to be showing out for other teams. Of course, he's going to be showing out for other teams that he's worth the contract. He's going to try. He wants to stay there. He's been there for 5.5 years. So it's going to be key for him that either he wants to show out for the Cowboys and show out to the Cowboys that they need to pay him for him to stay on the team, or maybe he shows out for other teams and it's like, hey, I can go play for your organization and be your starting linebacker, et cetera, et cetera. So that's great to hear good news about LVE. And yeah, the last piece of coverage I'm going to go over today, covering the Dallas Cowboys. James Washington is off his boot, and they're having pictures of James Washington and Michael Gallup both working off to the side in OTAs today. It's like I already said about with Michael Gallup. I'll get to him in a second, but James Washington, that's good. He's down on the boot right now. And we're going to need, not necessarily need him. We're not going to be depending our season, because if you're depending your season on James Washington being your number one receiver, then we just know the season didn't end that well. But that's great. We do want to get contribution from James Washington. But yeah, just talking about a little bit for Michael Gallup. A lot of people are hyped, and now this is going to bring speculation and people to believe that some of the reports that they were saying, which are still not true to this day, but people are probably thinking now that, hey, oh, I saw Michael Gallup walk around and run around today in practice and OTAs. That means he's going to be back in September. No, I still stand my ground saying that Michael Gallup won't be back until November. Earlier, remember, he tore his ACL he tore his ACL the second to last week of the NFL season. They're saying that the ACLs take a year. They say it takes 11, 12 months in a year, and how, even if you do come back within that year, you're not going to be the same. So necessarily, what that means is that ACLs don't take to about at least 2 years for you to fully recover. And look what they're saying about Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. tore his ACL in the Super Bowl, and for that reason, nobody has signed him yet. So that just tells you what there is about the ACL. It's not a horrific injury like how it used to be back in the early 2010s, back in the 2000s and 90s and everything like that when they were tearing their ACL. It's not as bad as it used to be with modern medicine. Of course, yes, you can come back from it and you'll be a lot better player. And sometimes people come back from ACLs and they look like they've been in their entire career. So, yeah, so that's really great news. And, it's really great for Michael Gallup, to be out there, at least trying to keep up his condition when, he's getting his legs under him and things like that, man. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to get a video out talking about the Cowboys. I haven't talked about the Cowboys in a while, man. Yeah, hopefully you guys like the video. And thank you guys for all the support. Hope you guys have a nice day. See you later. Bye.